Just like if you go, and the prisoner is trying to get out on his own and he goes above the wall, even if he is free from the prison and is jumping outside, he is still a prisoner. He will be caught and brought back. Ye Aravindaksha Vimuktamaninas Tai Asad Bhavaya. What is that verse? The Patati, Punarapi Patati, what is that? Anadrita. Yeah, but the previous line. What is that? Anyway, so it says that they fall down again. So, but this Krishna conscious process is special, and Lord Chaitanya is saying, I have brought this process for you, you take it. Jeev jago, Gora Chanda bole. Gora Jeev jago, Gora Chanda bole. Jeev jago. Kota nidra jao maya pishachi rakole. Jeev jago, Gora Chanda bole. Jeev jago. Gora Baji Boboliya Yeshem Samsara Bitore. Baji Boboliya Yeshem Buliya rohile tumi avidyar bare. Jeev jago, Gora Chanda bole. Jeev jago. Tomare loite ami hoinu avatara. Tomare ami bina bandhu ara ke ache tomara. Jeev jago, Gora Chanda bole. Jeev Gora Enechi aushadhi layam nasi barolagi. Enechi aushadhi mayam Hari nama maha mantra lao tumi magi. Hari Jeev jago, Gora Chanda bole. Jeev jago, Gora Chanda bole. Bhakti vinoda Prabhu Charane padiya Bakrati vinoda Prabhu Charane Se Hari Nama Mantra Loilo Magiya Mantra Ji jago, Gaura Chand bole. Ji jago, Gaura Chand bole. Kota nidra yao maya pishachira kole. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Oh, Hari Bolo, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Lord Gauranga calls, wake up sleeping souls, wake up sleeping souls. You have slept so long in the lap of the witch Maya. You came into this world saying, oh my Lord, I will certainly worship you. But having forgotten this promise, you have remained in great ignorance. I have descended just to save you. Other than myself, who else is your friend? Ami bina bandhu ache kya che tumhara. Ami bina bandhu ara kya che tumhara. I have brought the medicine for destroying the illusion of Maya. Now pray for this Harinam Mahamantra and take it. Thakur Bhaktivinoda fell at the lotus feet of Lord Gauranga, and after begging for the holy name, he received the Mahamantra. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivaradari Gopi Janna Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivajaka Shtotra Sata Sri Srimad His Divine Grace Abhay Charanarinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki ISKCON Founder Acharya Savior of the whole world Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada Ki Sri Sri Radha Ras Bihari Lalita Vishaka Ji Ki Jai Sri Sri Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman Ki Jai Sri Sri Gaur Nitai Ki Jai Sri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai Hare Krishna Mahamantra Ki Srila Prabhupada Transcendental Book Distribution Program Ki Srila Prabhupada Scientific Presentation of Krishna Consciousness Program Ki Nitai Gaur Premanandi all glories assembled devotees all glories assembled devotees all glories assembled devotees all glories, Srila Prabhupada and Gauranga. कौन सा श्लोका? Chapter? 52. Okay, and text? 21. Reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 52, Rukmini's message to Krishna, text 21. Sri Badarayani Ruvacha Raja Sid Bhishmako Nama Raja Sid Bhishmako Nama Vidharpadiputra Patir Vidharpadipatir Mahan Vidharpadipatir Mahan Tasya Panchabhavan Putraha Tasya Panchabhavan Putraha Tasya Panchabhavan Putraha Kanyaka Cha Varanana Kanyaka Cha Varanana Oh Kanyaika Cha Varanana Sri Badarayani Ruvacha Raja Sid Bhishmako Nama Raja Sid Bhishmako Nama Vidarbhadipatir Mahan Vidarbhadipatir Mahan Tasya Panchabhavan Putra Tasya Panchabhavan Putra Kanyaika Cha Varanana Kanyaika Cha Varanana Sribadarayana Rajasid Bhishmako Nama Vidarbhadipatir Mahan Tasya Panchabhavan Putraha Kanyaika Varanana Sribadarayana Rajasid Bhishmako Nama Vidarbhadipatir Mahan Tasya Panchabhavan Putraha Kanyaika Varanana. Sribadarayana Rajasid Bhishmako Nama Vidarbhadipatir Mahan Tasya Panchabhavan Putra Mothers, Ruvacha Mama Vidarbhadipatir Mahan Tasya Pancha Bhavan Putra Kanyaika Varanana Sri Badarayani Shukadev, the son of Badarayana Veda, the son of Badarayana Vedavyas, Uvacha said, Raja, a king, Asid, there was, Bhishmaka, Nama, named Bhishmaka, Vidarbhadipatihi, ruler of the kingdom of Vidarbha. Oh, it's Vidarbha Adipatihi. So it became Vidarbhadipatir, but I was reading it like that. Vidarbha Adipati, ruler of the kingdom Vidarbha. Mahan, great. Tasya, his. Pancha, 5. Abhavan, there were. Putraha, sons. Kanya, daughter. Eka, 1. Cha, and. Vara, exceptionally beautiful. Anana, whose face. Translation. Sri Badarayani said, there was a king named Bhishmaka, the powerful ruler of Vidarbha. He had 5 sons and 1 daughter of lovely countenance. I'll read 2 more. There's no purport here. Text 22. Rukmi was the firstborn son, followed by Rukmarata, Rukmabahu, Rukmekasa and Rukmamali. Their sister was the exalted Rukmini. Hearing the beauty, prowess and transcendental character and opulence of Mukunda from visitors to the palace who sang his praises, Rukmini decided that he would be the perfect husband for her. Purport. The word Sadrisham indicates that Rukmini and Sri Krishna had similar qualities and thus were naturally attracted to each other. King Bhishmaka was a pious man and therefore many spiritually advanced persons must have visited his place. These saintly persons undoubtedly preached openly about the glories of Sri Krishna. Amma Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami iti namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatyate Satarine Shri Chaitanya Mano Bhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Tadati Swapadantikam Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Brinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. So, how many are here for the first time? Put your hands up, first time. Okay. How many are not here for the first time? Put your hands up. So, I have to say something at the start that I actually don't know anything, especially about Krishna. But when I speak, it will be difficult for you to find out that I don't know. In fact, it will be difficult even for me to know that I don't know. That is the power of Maya. Therefore, Srila Sanatana Goswami, when he met Lord Chaitanya, he said, people are calling me a very great scholar. And Lord Chaitanya said, what is the problem there? It's quite proper that they call you a great scholar. And he said, no, the problem is that I also believe it. So, it is very important. Srila Prabhupada said that sometimes in a war, there may not be enough doctors to treat the soldiers. So, then some people are taken who are not doctors, they are given basic training. You know, if you see something, you just put some medicine like this, you put this medicine. No, not that medicine, this medicine, and you put this like that. You know, and if the thing is, bone is broken, they teach some basic things and they say, you become medical person. They travel with the army. Similarly, Prabhupada said, we are emergency doctors. So something is taught and we are presenting. They may think we are doctors, but we should not think. We should know. But that is very difficult. Very difficult. When I joined also, I was preaching a lot. And people were saying, okay, the classes are nice, but I always felt inside this something wrong, I really don't know. That was my good fortune. But it took me also more than 35 years, 40 years. And now only I'm beginning to more and more on a daily basis understand I actually don't know. And that is also advancement. You should not think that that's not advancement. So I'm not being falsely humble, you know. But we know that, okay, we're progressing. But you have to come to that stage. To give another example, when you start cleaning a room, initially you feel you are cleaning because there is so much dust and you are removing. But at some point, when it looks very clean, you have to look, where is the dirt? Like that, we have to look for our areas of ignorance and advance. So for this, hearing about Lord Sri Krishna is the only medicine. Hearing from the proper source. Proper source should know. And otherwise, proper source is also someone who doesn't know but knows he doesn't know. At least that man has advanced a little bit. And then comes, that's also a proper source, one who doesn't know and doesn't know that he doesn't know. Then he is also preaching. So, for all this cadre of people, hearing about Lord Krishna is the best medicine, isn't it? So, this hearing about Lord Krishna that Rukmini is described to have done, it is something that is a must for all the living entities. When you hear from the proper source, then the natural conclusion is that the soul will be attracted to Krishna, isn't it? And the soul will then achieve a different eternal position from the current eternal position. Currently also we have eternal position, but that is going from body to body. And another eternal position is Punarjanmana Vidyate. You are established in a situation, a relation with Krishna that can eternally develop. There is no limit to it. So, there is a night and day difference between these two things. And when Krishna sent Srila Prabhupada to our world to speak about Krishna, and he arranged for those things to be recorded. You see, we cannot now see, if you are on the mundane platform, we feel we cannot see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or we cannot see other acharyas. But you can see and you can hear Srila Prabhupada because Krishna arranged for electronics to be discovered and arranged for tape recorders and television to be done. And although people are thinking these are meant for our sense enjoyment, actually it is meant for propagating the presence of the Acharya amongst everybody. So everybody is able to hear his lectures and hear. So there is always two purposes. One is the purpose of Krishna himself, the way he runs the material world, and another is the way the people, bewildered people, use the world thinking it is meant for their sense enjoyment. So, Rukmini ji here is hearing about Krishna. Of course, she is the eternal consort of Krishna, but she likes to hear, and every time she hears about Krishna, it is something new. She is not saying, oh, I know Krishna for so long, don't talk to me about Krishna. That is, only the gopis say that. Don't talk about Krishna. Isn't it? tava kathamritam. They are saying that don't talk about Krishna. Some people may think tava katha amritam, but for us is mritam. It is death-like. We don't want to hear about this cheating person. So they are they are in a different plane, you know. So even Lakshmi ji is trying to understand. So their position is very great. So Rukmini ji is actually hearing about Krishna. And Prabhupada also says that when Arjuna heard Krishna, then he came to the conclusion, Karishye vachanam tava, nashto moham, smriti laptva, karishye vachanam tava. He says the result of hearing about Krishna is nashto moham, illusion is gone, smriti labdva, I got my memory of you, karishye vachanam tava. तो अभी से मैं आप जो बोलेंगे वो करूँगा. So this is the, Prabhupada says, the effect of hearing about Krishna. And you can see in the lives of all the devotees that we heard, and somehow or other, fortunately, we said, now we will serve Krishna. And that has to be cultivated more and more and more. So that is the natural effect of hearing about Krishna Katha. There is one verse in Bhagavatam. What is that? Krishna Katha. The first chapter, first canto is there. Huh? What is that? Shunvata Swakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hridyantasto hi abhadrani Vidunoti Sugurut Satam. So Shunvata Swakata Krishna. So Prabhupada explains Swakata, by hearing Shunvata Swakata Krishna. What is the next line? Just now I said Punya Shravana Kirtana Hridyantasto hi abhadrani Vidunoti Sugurut Satam. So if one is hearing without duplicity, without letting the mind interfere. Mind is a very great disturbance. But most living entities think that when the mind works nicely, then they are happy. In any case, so Swakata Krishna, Prabhupada gives many explanations, isn't it? So Swakata, Prabhupada says in one class, so Swakata means Bhagavad-gita. It's spoken by Krishna himself. Of course, first he says Swakata means all the literatures compiled by Vedavyas. Because Vedavyas is incarnation of Krishna, Swakata means it is compiled by himself. So all the Vedic literatures are Swakata. But Krishna, when he speaks Bhagavad-gita, that is also Swakata. And then he says, but when he comes as Lord Chaitanya and presents Siddhanta, that is also Swakata, and that's the highest. Like that he gives many meanings for the word Swakata. So the hearing about Krishna from the correct sources is very auspicious, very powerful. So my message always is that that's powerful source for all of us is Prabhupada as given by Krishna, so that for the next 10,000 years his presence will be there. And all of us, our preaching has meaning only if we can make people get attracted to the messages of his divine grace. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. We must never make the mistake of thinking that whenever I read Prabhupada's books, he's saying the same thing. I have never seen Prabhupada even repeat one point. I have never seen him, and no purport is repeating, everything is new, isn't it? Everything is very different. Okay, so let's take even Bhagavad-gita. Isn't it? If you just open Bhagavad-gita, Agya. So Prabhupada says, I envy no one, nor am I partial to anyone. Samoham sarvabhuteshu. I am equal to all. But whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend, is in me, and I am also a friend to him. Ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya mahi te teshu chapi aham. Prabhupada writes, one may question here that if Krishna is equal to everyone and no one is his special friend, then why does he take a special interest in the devotees who are always engaged in his transcendental service? But this is not discrimination, it is natural. Any man in this material world may be very charitably disposed, yet he has a special interest in his own children. The Lord claims that every living entity in whatever form is his son, and so provides everyone with a generous supply of the necessities of life. He is just like a cloud which pours rain all over, regardless of whether it falls on rock or land or water. But for his devotees, he gives specific attention. Isn't it a beautiful point, nice point? Everything is new, fresh. Never we should think it is something we have heard before. And Prabhupada is explaining here that, see, although a man may be charitably disposed and he may help whoever comes, but for his own children he takes special interest. That cannot be denied. That is natural. So, Prabhupada is making a clear distinction between those who belong to Krishna and those who choose to not belong to Krishna. He is giving the same to everybody, like rain is falling in Bombay, whether it is, now it is mostly falling on rock, but concrete, but whether depending on whether it falls on rock or whether it falls on good fertile land, the effect is different. On the rock, simply the water goes away, nothing happens. Whereas when it falls in the land, then beautiful, nice vegetation comes. Bombay used to be a rainforest long time ago, Bombay city. So, hearing about Krishna, it must actually create this, our Bhaktilata, Bhaktilata to develop. And that is very difficult, And we should recognize that we are going through the process, but we are not actually fully reaping the benefits of Krishna Katha. So, therefore, not everybody is in the spiritual world. They are in the material world and they also have different forms. One can ask, why are there so many different life forms? Everybody in the material world wants to enjoy, like Krishna. Why doesn't everybody get a human body? Why should there be cockroaches and crocodiles and fish and this and that? Why? You see? That is the difference between Supreme Lord Krishna and others who cannot be in his position. Suppose you imagine there is a rich person, so rich that he has got thousands and thousands and thousands of billions of dollars, billions, that he has no problem to give as much money that people ask for. So when people come to him, he has no idea what is in their mind. He cannot know, even the demigods cannot know. In the 7th canto, Prabhupada explains that even the demigods don't know who are worshipping them. So Krishna says, as Paramatma in the worshipper's heart, I make him worship. Ganesh or Shiva or Durga. And as Paramatma in their heart, I make them understand that they are being worshipped. So Krishna, Sarvasya Chaham Hridi Sannivishto, he is in the heart of everyone. So even the greatest of the demigods, they cannot, suppose a rich man gives somebody $1 million, and this fellow goes and does internet research and finds the strongest AK-47 rifles, and he buys them and he goes and just kills people. Then he'll think, oh, why did I give that? Because he doesn't know what he will do. Even Lord Shiva, Bhasmasura came and he asked for some, and it happened that even he, in a moment, couldn't, although he is very great and very powerful. Krishna is infallible, Achyuta. So, when people ask him for abilities to dominate his material energy, he knows what is in their heart. Accordingly, he gives them a form in which they can do what they can do and not cause too much disturbance. Imagine if a tiger, the soul who takes a tiger body becomes actually a human being. He will just cause havoc. That's how murders and this will take place. So in Kali Yuga. So there are so many different Eko Bahunam Yo Vidadati Kama, and the Lord has given so many. So we have to be very, very clear and worried that I do not, by the process of chanting, create other things without knowing, other desires for having power or position or money or this or that, because accordingly we will get the next body. And the material energy is very strong, Prabhupada said. You cannot stop it. A person cannot steal money and when caught say, I'm sorry. No. Then you have to be punished. So Prabhupada is repeatedly warning that although the mercy of the Acharya is there, although the mercy of Krishna is there, mercy of Lord Chaitanya and everybody is there, if we intentionally commit Janiya Suniya Bishokoino, if we are intentionally, sometimes we may say, I don't know, but still it will act. Therefore, Siddhanta must be learnt very, very, very properly. Very properly Siddhanta must be learnt. And this Siddhanta can be studied in two ways. I have said this before, but I'll still say it. By actually our own mind and intelligence, which is also bhakti. Krishna says, whoever studies this conversation by his intelligence, he worships me. But it is fallible. When we read these books, whatever understanding we get it may not be perfect. But if we hear from someone who is beyond the position of the mind, then we can learn things. Even from a person who knows that I have not gone beyond mind, even hearing from him will be useful, provided he says that you should hear from the Acharya. Therefore, I call this as green glass knowledge, to study the scriptures on your own mind or to hear from those who speak from their own mind. Are you following? So it is not, but when the message is pure, it's wonderful. When it is not pure, it still sounds like wonderful, but it will be like sweet rice with sand. Or sarpa uchishtam, like the milk touched by the serpent. It's the serpent of mind. So we may be good, but the mind is acting. So mind is very, 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 very powerful. You see? Mind means also subtle body. It is so powerful, the subtle body, that it can make us misidentify ourselves with that subtle body. I have explained this before. I have only given just little bit. I have not explained this detailed things. I don't know whether people are interested or not. And also people have to be qualified. We have to hear very carefully. We cannot misuse it. The ability to hear without letting the mind interfere, it's a great benediction. Great benediction. That means, it requires great training. How to hear without letting the mind interfere. So we read books and we take up Krishna consciousness, but when we come to the temple, there must be explanation how to first hear without the mind interfering. This is a technology. It should be technique, should be learnt, isn't it? So I was just thinking the other day, I should maybe float a course called Pre-Bhakti Shastri. Because in order to even read the Bhakti Shastri books prescribed, we have to know the basic things properly. See? Because of the mind, which means because of the subtle body, so the gross body doesn't exist. But we believe it exists. Just like when you go to the movie theater, you see some man, he's in a park and he is walking and there's beautiful trees and this and that. It is our experience. But if you think that's the real world, especially if you have a virtual reality thing and you've gone inside that, you have no way of knowing that this is your experience, it's not reality. Because suddenly a big shark will come, and if you just go to touch it, it'll just go. And they make such realistic things. And it'll come near, and it looks like you're in a cage, and the shark will come and it'll try to bite you, and you're saying, wow, 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 like that. But it's not real. You see? This knowledge you cannot get by reading the books using your mind and intelligence and false ego. You have to hear. How does one go past that? For that one has to go from Mandatta Seva to Prabhudatta Seva. It is there. All these things are there, but now I just want to talk about the basic philosophy. So, I have experience. Everybody has individual experience in their own. Lord Kapila says in the third canto, every person comes alone and goes alone. Hindus also say, oh, akele aaya hum, akele jayenge. But they don't, of course, probably as big Mayavadis, they also knew once upon a time. So, it is a very strange world. This cannot be discussed in general public. But still, on a Sunday class, I'm saying, so that even at least you have a feeling, I should know this. So, otherwise it's very confusing. Prabhu, what are you saying? Then should we, is it real or not when I come to the temple and chant? That's not the point. That's not the point. So, people who don't know, when they are told knowledge, they will get confused. And if they are murk, they'll get angry. That will also, Chanakya Pandita Prabhupada quotes. So I am always, that is why I don't speak much on these things, but at the same time, thoda kuch batana chahiye. So this, the influence of the mind is very, very, very powerful. And it is something that makes you think you are that. You are that mind, because the mind thinks and you are thinking, I am thinking. Intelligence and false ego. So the process of chanting Hare Krishna is actually expected to, in the first stage, purify us from these material contaminations. Otherwise, this chanting of Hare Krishna is meant only for those who are already purified. But the beauty of Srila Prabhupada is that he did, this is the new thing he did, that previous acharyas did not do, which is that he made it open for everybody, the process of Prema Bhakti. And what did he do? The same process of chanting and serving Krishna, if you are a Prema Bhakta, is given also if you are a Chandala. In the fourth canto of Bhagavatam, Prabhupada writes that even a Chandala can be actually, by this process, achieve pure Bhakti. So everybody is given a chance to take up this process. We are impure. But even in that impure stage, Amara Agnya Guru Hoy, emergency doctor. So I'm saying all of that is all connected. You have to go. So don't try to rationally hear what is being said. Just absorb it. So this mind is the great enemy in conditioned life, and it can also become a friend. Just like if you don't know driving and you won a lottery and they say the price is a Cadillac car, you think, wow, I'm so nice, I won a car. But when you get into that car and drive, you don't know driving, you are getting into accident every day. Same thing is the source of your trouble. Similarly, although this mind and intelligence is a great thing by which we can exist in the material world, but if we don't know how to control it, it becomes the source of our suffering. So everybody is suffering. And people look for temporary measures, motivational speakers, this, that. They just hear something, it's very nice. But they are not interested in hearing, like Rukmini ji, about Krishna, pure virtuous messages. That is misfortune only, because they think it's a waste of time. We have got so many problems. Why should we sit and hear about Krishna? We got to solve problems. This person is speaking nicely, he is giving this, he is giving that. But actually, that type of presentation will never solve your problem, and this will solve your problem. But it takes time. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya said, Trunadapi suni chena, tarorapi sahishnuna. Tarorapi sahishnuna means one must be more tolerant than a tree. This is the next level after the first level of reading, chanting. Next level is that we should be taught that you don't know things and you should learn. And that learning comes from those who are not within the throes of mind. See, I have given also the example, just like you have a bartan and the bartan has got a kapada on top and it's dirty kapada and somebody is pouring milk. Although it is nice milk, it becomes dirty milk. And if someone can remove that kapada and put, then you also get nice milk. So we are right now receiving everything through our mind and intelligence that will go up to a certain point. But if we want to make progress, someone must come and remove that mind intelligence and give you direct knowledge. That is not possible for me. I cannot give that knowledge. You see, that is why I said in the beginning of the class, it may appear like you can hardly tell from what I speak that I don't know. But what we mean by I don't know is that we do not have the capacity to remove that cloth and give. And, therefore, Dibya Gyan Hriday Prakashito. We are saying to Prabhupada every day that you have actually given Dibya Gyan in the heart. Otherwise, it is not so easy to understand Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So many people come and so many people don't come and they cannot accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So how did we understand? It's a mystical process, and He has given us that mercy that in the heart He has implanted. We should never forget that. And that's only the beginning, and He can give more and more and more. Just like if He went to some very rich man and he gave you 5,000 rupees donation, or he became life member, that's good, but that's only the beginning. Because he can give much, much more if you cultivate him, Prabhupada said. So, the real cultivation we must do is our cultivation of our relation with Prabhupada in such a way that he will give more and more in the heart. And when you get that knowledge, then you will understand that, like yesterday I asked somebody, I've asked all of you also before, and today we sang also, Jeev Jago, wake up sleeping soul. I asked people, are you conscious? Here also I have asked before, right now. And everybody will say, yes, I am conscious. But you are not. You are not. Not only that, You have never experienced consciousness. Consciousness is not such a simple thing. That is why Krishna says, Asharyavat Prashiti. Then the people are hearing about it, are amazed, but nobody understands. So the beginning of purification, the beginning of going past this green glass knowledge, this studying the books using our own mind, is to realize that I have not even experienced myself. Consciousness can make you experience so many things, but it cannot experience itself. It's a big mistake of Mayavadis. Just like with the eye, you can see everything, but the eye itself, I cannot see. And to see the eye, it has to actually require a mirror, a reflection. Similarly, for the soul to know himself, he has to be in relation with Krishna. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya said, who is the soul? Jivera Swarup Nitya Krishna Das. So, unless we realize that I am the servant of Krishna, we cannot actually taste our existence. I have given one more example, I'll give that. I mean, these are all things I have said 40 years ago, but still I'm bringing up because fundas must be clear. What is the difference between the I that you feel now, which is full of vivid things, you are hearing class, this, that, everything, and the I of consciousness? Kya farak hai in dono mein? So I have given an example, just like if you take a bus and you go to Pune, and you are sitting in the bus, or you, let's say you are going to Bombay to, I don't know, Delhi by bus, and you are sitting in the bus, you are sitting, you are not moving, right? You are sitting in one place. You may be even sleeping. But after 6 hours, maybe it has come to Pune, and the bus stops, you think, wow. Then you get down from the bus, and you're doing like this. Oh. Somebody says, what happened? Says, no, I've not moved for 6 hours. Really? Where were you 6 hours ago? In Bombay. If you didn't move, how did you come to Pune? You have not moved, but still because you are in association with bus, you have moved. You cannot say you have not moved. You cannot also say I have moved. So please try to understand when we say Maya, it is therefore you cannot say that you are not experiencing yourself. At the same time, you are not. It takes great mercy to at least hear that. So just like even though you have moved for 10 hours in the bus, that movement has no value. Because you feel so bad. In fact, it makes you make worse and worse the longer you travel. But even thought a little bit, like that makes you feel so good. Like that, all the experience you have through the bus of this body, it has got no value. Body means both subtle and gross. But little bit of experience of the real consciousness, wow, it's so great. So even through the dense covering of matter in which we are soaked, we have no idea. There are millions and millions and millions of levels of reality in the material world. Right here, we don't know. So, Om Ajnanatimurandasya, I am in the darkest of ignorance. But still he has Divya Gyan Hriday Prakashito. What a powerful personality he is. We should not think that Prabhupada came, established ISKCON, and now ISKCON will save the world. That's nonsense. A complete nonsense. Don't fall into this poisonous nonsense. The person who is preaching is who? His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This you must realize. Otherwise, danger. When you think I'm preaching, we are developing, like that, right? Bhajari Prabhu. ISKCON is an instrument. Nimitta matram bhava savya sachin. And the pen does not write. The person who is holding the pen is writing. So we must never forget that Prabhupada said Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the original preacher. That must be strong in the heart. Krishna is preaching, Lord Chaitanya is preaching, Prabhupada is preaching, I am assisting. They are preaching. They are actually developing everybody's Krishna consciousness. Anyway, so the point is that having moved in this bus for time immemorial, we have never experienced consciousness. But if we chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, then we can experience consciousness. But for that chanting process to work, we must perform practical service. Because of that practical service, you will slowly disassociate yourself from the gross body and the subtle body, and you will be able to see yourself. I give another example. Like this fan is moving, it has got 3 blades. When it is moving, you don't separate the blades, it looks like one thing. But when you stop it, it is slowing down, and it stops, you see 3 things, 3 blades. So like that, right now, we cannot make a distinction between soul and subtle body and gross body. It's all one thing, is going fast. But when you actually do very intense devotional service, Tivrena Bhakti Yogena, and hear properly from Prabhupada, then slowly this Maya will lift, and you will see yourself to be different from the mind and from the body. At that time, you can do pratyahara, you can withdraw, which is the first stage of Ashtanga Yoga. And when you chant, then you will be able to chant, you meaning the soul. Although, of course, the chanting is always on the transcendental plane, we must actually make progress. We must endeavor. So that when we chant, the external things are not there, and we simply associate with the holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. That is a complete mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Don't break it. Hare, I've said this before. And the only person who can help you to chant better, 2 persons are Krishna and Prabhupada. They will teach in the heart. There's nothing for a fool like me to teach. So this process of hearing about Krishna is an extraordinarily beautiful process. But that process, to have effect, Prabhupada repeatedly said, one should not hear from professional reciters of Srimad Bhagavatam, but from those who are actually on the path of serving the Mahatmas and making progress. There is no other way. Nahajana ena gata sapanta. That is the only way. And what is that? Maharaj Nimi, wasn't it? The Navagendras, they gave this thing. Sarana Renu, what is that verse? I'm forgetting now. So, but as Abhishekam, they say. When they asked, or was it Jadabharat, I'm not so sure. When asked, how did you become so advanced? He said, this is not possible by any other process than taking the dust from the lotus feet of the pure devotees. And taking the dust from the lotus feet of the pure devotees means, in the beginning, taking their instructions seriously and performing it. So, Janete asu jnanam cha vairagyam. If you are chanting, all this knowledge must come, but it will not come if you don't progress from Mandatta Seva to Prabhudatta Seva, which is a separate topic for discussion. So this the whole Krishna consciousness process is designed to somehow extricate us from this material tabernacle. And why do we say somehow? Because the process is there, but I am not interested in following. I am always letting the mind tell me, do this, do this, do that. So it takes a long time. I mean, I am now old, the body is winding down, and I am realizing, oh, I did not know these things that clearly before, and I wasted my life. So all the Vaishnava Acharyas are writing songs about that. So why we should actually lament like that? So when we are young, we should. So it is the great responsibility of the movement to actually know how to train the devotees and actually give the process of training, and which actually it is based on proper understanding of Siddhanta. Therefore, Krishna consciousness is known as Buddhi Yoga. Buddhi Yoga process, and Jnana Plavena means the boat of transcendental knowledge. So all these things are written, they are not just like that, the same thing. Okay, Rukmini, she heard from her, and all right, next verse. No. How did Rukmini ji hear? How is it that although she knows Krishna 24/7, how she is interested in hearing more? What is it about Krishna that makes it, hearing about him? Bhuya Bhuya Mahabhago, we are, hearing again and again. How is it nice? Vayam na triptyama, we are not getting satisfied. Parikshit Maharaj is saying. So it is a great process, and I have barely entered that process, but we have a right to tell others. Just like in a village, nobody has got any good food, and one rich person comes with so much of prasadam, so much food in big lorries, he brings it and keeps it, and people are forming a line. And then when somebody comes and asks, why are you here for a line? Oh, abhi prasad milega. You have not eaten, so fine, but still you can tell others. Or you have eaten, still you can go and tell others. If you go there, you'll get prasadam. But if after eating you go and tell somebody, I have eaten, and just hear from me, then you will also feel like you have eaten. That's cheating. Therefore, we are saying, we are not the preachers. Prabhupada is the preacher, Lord Chaitanya is the preacher. We should connect everybody to the source, like that. But this is still the beginning, and whatever I wanted to say, I have not even touched the surface. So I'll try to make one more point, isn't it? So this process of understanding our position is a great gift. It's a great gift. It is a removal of the dark curtain of Maya. And Krishna does not remove it if we are not sincere. Because, so that is why I said that, Krishna is not like an ordinary rich man, and he will give you he gives $1 million to everybody, but he changes the body. The same crocodile, the same mosquito, they all have the same type of bodies. In every body there is male and female. They are enjoying the same way, there is no difference. Krishna is explaining in the 11th canto the love life of two birds. You see? And how they speak to each other. And the way they speak is exactly same as a human male and human female who are in love will speak. Same, exactly. So, there is no difference between a tiger male and tiger female, human male and and a pig male and pig female. Therefore, what he does is that like the rain is falling everywhere equally. Krishna is giving everybody the mercy equally, but the body is not the same. It is according to your qualification. And in this way, Krishna is very practical, how people are different. At the same time, samoham sarva bhuteshu, I am equal to everybody. Therefore, This process is Kamadhenu, and it will give us what we want. And we must come to lament that I don't want Krishna. I have seen this practically in my life. I get Krishna reveals a very nice way to chant, and I can see that if I chant this, I can chant 24 hours, but I don't. After chanting sometime, I keep and I go do other things. Not interested. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya said, what did he say? What is the second verse? Namna makari bahuda nijasarva taktis tattararpita nimate smaranena kala etadrishi bhagavan something durdaiva midrishim mihajani na anuraga. I am so unfortunate that I don't have real taste for chanting your name. Because if the real taste is there, why would I stop? We have seen. So we must know, we must be able to judge where am I in spiritual life, and we should desire to progress further, and to go further we need sadhu sangha. Sadhu sangha, sarva sastra kahe, lava matra sadhu sanghe, sarva siddhi hoy. So that sadhu means those who have gone past mandatta seva and are actually doing prabhudatta seva. And these are all beautiful aspects of Krishna consciousness. And once that dimension opens up, it's very beautiful, but then it is unlimited. It's unlimited. All the devotees, everybody knows that there are some devotees who are behind me and many, many devotees aage. So we have to take association of those who are on the progressive path, more advanced than us, and we should take it and go, and that's the process. Any questions or comments? Who is at the back? Somebody put the hand up behind Prajahari Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, what is the difference between liberation and renunciation?
First questions on the class, then such questions. In one class, Prabhupada, somebody asked a question after the class. Prabhupada said, I have carefully set up a vibration. Don't spoil it. Ask questions about the class. I said like, I'm not like that, but Prabhupada said that.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu.
As you said that you regretted, at certain age, you came to know that I wasted my time. So can you speak few points where you thought that I could have done this, it would have been better for me?
No. We have to realize, see, I am a very, very ordinary person. I am saying it. But Ishwara Puri also said the same thing, right? Who is the person? Ishwara Puri? Huh? No. Ramachandra's guru. Who was lamenting when he was about to leave the body. He was lamenting, I wasted my life. Huh? Madhavendra? No. No, not Madhavendra. I think it's Ishwara Puri. Huh? No, Ishwar Puri, I think he was lamenting like that. And Ramachandra said that, why are you lamenting? At least now you chant Hare Krishna. That was an offense. Actually, he was so much in ecstasy that he was saying that. Was it Madhavendra Puri? Are you sure? Anyway. Yeah? Huh? Madhavendra. So Ishwara Puri and Ramachandra were God brothers and disciples of Madhavendra Puri. Madhavendra Puri said, I'm not remembering. Anyway. So you can imagine. He's saying it. I'm also saying it. I'm certainly not in great ecstasy. I'm genuinely, but this is all standard part of devotional service. We must come to that stage, but not like me, when I'm so old. It should come very quickly. That's my point. That you have to come on your own. That is not possible without intense practical service. There are so many secrets. I can't speak about all that in public. But that's a good question. But that's what it is.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu.
So, you gave example of eye. Through eye, we can see everything, but cannot see ourselves. Through consciousness, we can see
So
everything.
consciousness requires Krishna, super consciousness.
So, recently I was just pondering, Prabhuji, these flowers. Prabhupada says, please help me to understand Prabhupada example. Prabhupada gives this example of iron rod. When we keep this iron rod in the fire, it acts like a fire. So similarly, we see flower, if it is offered to Krishna, it acts as it is spiritualized, Prabhupada says. So, but we see, through my consciousness, I see flower still has this material quality.
What quality?
Material quality. Through my consciousness, I see
Yeah.
this, even after offering flower to Krishna,
Yeah.
I see still
Yeah.
it gets dried up. Still it gets.
Yeah.
So, through elevated consciousness, how to see that it is not a material no more.
His question is, he started with something else, that you said consciousness, to realize itself, it requires God consciousness. Anyway, I'll just make one point. But then he went on to ask a question that when things are dovetailed with Krishna, they achieve their original nature. So he's connecting, okay. So he's saying, so if I dovetail myself in Krishna, then I will know my original nature as consciousness, not as subtle or gross body. But when a flower is offered to Krishna, we still see that it is withering and it will die or like that. So how is it not fully spiritualized? It's spiritualized because when the flower is offered to Krishna, we put it on our head. It is holy. Then why is it? Is that your question?
Through my consciousness, how can I see that it is more material?
No. So his point is that maybe because I have a material consciousness, I'm seeing it as withering and all that. Obviously, it will be eternal once full. So, first let me go to that first point and explain it a little bit more. You see, Prabhupada gave the example that by cultivation of knowledge, one can know what he is not. Neti, naiti. Then you can realize that I'm not any of this. The strength of the Mayavadi philosophy, which last time I only indicated, is that they understand that this I that I am feeling is an illusion. But they make a mistake of thinking there is no I. But at least they have understood that all of this, whatever I experience, is an illusion. So then, that knowledge is sufficient to liberate yourself. But you may not know who you are. Like the Buddhists and also, they deny the self. So they just think they are in sunyata, and the followers of Adi Shankara, imperfect followers of Adi Shankara, they think that, they are Brahman. That is a little higher. Just like there is this light bulb, and from this light, light is coming from this bulb, there is also sunlight. They are mixed. You cannot distinguish between them. If you switch off this light, there will still be light. And even if you put all the, if you put wall and everything, if this is on, you'll still be light. So there are two lights here, but you cannot see, they're mixed. So when a person initially comes out of material illusion, he actually sees that he is his light, It's like the bulb thinking I'm light. Forgets I'm the bulb. And that light is not different from the big light, and it's mixed. And they say I can't distinguish between the two. That is also a state, but it is Brahma. Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagavan iti sabjate. But you have to then later realize I am bulb and that is sun. And bulb, bulb light, sun, sunlight. So sunlight and bulb light are in this place. Bulb is in this place, but sun is far away. Similarly, the soul and his consciousness are in the body. Krishna's consciousness is in every body. But as Paramatma, he is far away. The one Paramatma appears to be in every body. So, these are different stages of philosophies, people are having and understanding. So, Prabhupada said, just like when it is pitch dark, if you have a torchlight, you can use the torchlight to go here, there, like that. But you cannot use the torchlight to see the sun. Torchlight cannot show you the sun. In fact, that light will just go and merge in the darkness. Similarly, you can, by cultivation of other yogic processes, go here and there and you can maybe even clearly understand the nature of matter and separate yourself. But it is not sufficient to make you see yourself, much less Krishna. But Prabhupada said, if you see the sun, then automatically you can see yourself and you don't need the torchlight. So God consciousness includes self-consciousness, but self-consciousness does not include God consciousness. In that sense, I am saying that the soul cannot know itself until he is actually realizing Krishna by service. That is a separate point. Now, why is it that the flower, when offered, is that is the nature of the material world. Everybody is serving, but everybody is dying. Even devotees. Yeah? Oh, yeah. So, wait, I'm not complete. So, it is the nature of this material world. Srila Prabhupada, when he was in Vrindavan, one devotee was looking at him and Prabhupada said, don't think this will not happen to you. So the difference is, Prabhupada explains that in the first canto, where the rising and the setting of the sun does not diminish the life of a devotee. Prabhupada explains that the point is that whether you are in this body or you go to some other body, you will continue the process of devotional service. So Prabhupada gave the example that in a prison there are many prisoners. Sometimes some prisoners are moved from one prison to another prison. But someone is actually released. Both are going out of the prison, but that person is going to another prison, but he is released. So when people leave this body, everybody leaves the body, but non-devotee class of people take another body. But if someone is a devotee, then he will go to Krishna. Even if he has not perfected his devotional life, Krishna says that you will again and again get a chance for devotional service. That is there in the Bhagavad-gita, and Lord Chaitanya also says that. Isn't it? Mama janmani janmani ishvare bhavatat bhakti rahaitu ki tvayi. So that is actually the nature of reality. To see that is very difficult. You have to advance. How do we know when a devotee has left the body, he has gone to the spiritual world or not? You may not know, I may not know, but everything is happening. Therefore, we have to be very careful. I'm always now thinking every day, when is it going to come, the end, and how will I remember Krishna? That's all. That's the most important thing. Karbajan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, you are giving the example of that you are sitting in the bus and the bus is reaching Pune you are not moving, but the bus is moving. But the conscious also, we see that the bus is moving. When I'm in the bus, my conscious is that bus is moving. And at the point I reach, I understand I have reached that point. So how can we understand this, whether I am moving or the consciousness is moving?
Good question, very good question. He is asking the question that in the bus example, bus is moving, I can still see bus is moving and therefore I reached and I can get down on the bus and all that. But in this body, how can we do that? So the point is, that's very difficult to explain, but I'll say that in the bus example, you are the person who is traveling. But in this life, the person who is traveling is also not you. It's a subtle body. And the bus is the gross body. And the subtle body is going from one gross body to another body. The soul is following. The soul generally accepts whatever the subtle body is saying. Subtle body might say, no, I'm not this body, gross body, I'm different. Sometimes it may think I'm this. It is all, like I said, daydream, night dream. It makes no difference. So, when we hear this, we will ask questions using our mind. But actually, the knowledge is beyond the mind. Yes, yes, at the back. Oh no, he's just holding that. So we'll stop here. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.